morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're joining us around the world. Welcome to Le Mans for the 87th running of the great endurance race.
For nearly a century, people have been descending on this racetrack to compete against like-minded.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're joining us around the world. Welcome to Le Mans for the 87th running of the great endurance race.
For nearly a century, people have been descending on this racetrack to compete against like-minded drivers. A true test across 24 hours, twice around the clock, is just a ridiculous idea.
25 years of motorsport, and every race when I start, my heart is 180. The life of the driver is in my hand.
3-minute board on the grid.
You have the whole world looking at you. The biggest race of the year is gonna start, and the pressure is on.
Please clear the grid immediately. Seconds.
Okay, fire up.
Green flag.
The 87th running of the world's greatest race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Pensive down in the garages as the various teams watch their cars. Princess Charlene of Monaco will wave the French tricolor.
The 24 Hours of Le Mans is underway.
Two 24-hour races in a week. Last year's winners, the 92 car, are back. We're in business, it's blast off.
Box.
Did that happen?
Ventures all over him.
You will have to box. I have a straight smell in the car.
Gonna get the lead! Fantastic!
To prepare yourself for Le Mans and for Nürburgring, that's gonna be tough. Nürburgring is tough enough on its own, you know, you don't need Le Mans 1 week before. I'm Kevin Estre, Porsche factory driver, driving the car number 92 in Le Mans and the 911 for Nürburgring.
Endurance racing for a driver, I think mentally and physically it's really hard for them. I think it helps a lot to go on the mountain so that he is a bit more relaxed and focused again on the race.
I think that's where you get the energy back for two 24-hour race in 2 weeks. You have to be strong, and it makes a difference between a good endurance driver and average one. Being a professional racing driver is all about risk. I think my strength is in, let's say, the moment where you have to push to overtake or to stay in front, where I take a bit more risks than other drivers. I just do it with the instinct I have. But it's very easy to be the guy which made the difference to the guy which made the silly mistakes which destroy your victory or your championship.
Kevin has an ego, sure, because everybody on the track wants to be the first. I'm just scared that something happened on the track, but when you see him racing, he needed to be happy.
We're going to do 10 laps straight out the box. Kevin drives the bulk of the morning. Lunch break is an hour and a half, with no planned big changes.
Oh, come on.
Well, not you. No, well, you like
Monza was the first time we were in a testing situation with the engineer, data engineer, and the 3 drivers and our mechanics as well. Same 2018 winning crew. So it was great to be there because we had good memories from last year. It's very hard to replicate Le Mans on any other track because it's so unique. So we try to go to the one which suits the most, and it's Monza.
Go for 8 laps, 6 times.
We wanted to gather a lot of data and see the effect of the setup on the car.
just fucking boot it.
Radio check. Radio check the exit.
To be successful in endurance, you need to work well with the team. You need to trust your engineer, trust your teammate. I'm driving the whole season in the World Endurance Championship with my mate, Michael Christensen. It's very good to have a friend as a teammate because you need a lot of respect, a lot of trust. We are different character, but very complementary. In Le Mans, we have 3 drivers. So Lawrence comes from the US Championship. They use the same car, but with a different setup. He comes in our car and has to do some compromise and suit to our setup.
I'm Lawrence Vantor. I'm a Porsche Works driver, and I drive the 92 in Le Mans and the 911 in Nürburgring. Kevin and Michael, we get along very well. Winning Le Mans together makes you bond a little bit more. We're kind of like 3 soldiers going to a war. You have to have each other's back.
3, 3, 2, 1, go.
But still, it's a strange position sometimes. I'm the 3rd guy helping them out. And especially this year where they're fighting for the driver championship. Try not to think about it and just act as I was there full season. I think that's the way to approach it. I spent 5 years at Audi without wanting to be arrogant. I think we won pretty much everything which we started in. And then the opportunity with Porsche came along to do a GT project in America. Which race car driver doesn't want to be a Porsche driver?
Dat is karotten naar de nazen. Lekker.
Yeah. It may look from the outside as a race driver with this jet set life, but I've always been very happy to be home with my wife, with the baby. They always say when you get a kid you lose some tense, but I don't think it's true. Once you put your helmet on, you don't think about the other stuff. The desire to win is the same as before. Just like the feeling of speed and being on the edge, doing something which potentially could go wrong, makes you feel alive. I've never done 24 hours back to back, and especially not on this scale. Le Mans is intense preparation for 2 or 3 weeks before. A really big event with a lot of pressure. It's the one everybody wants to win. And then directly after, we need to go to Nürburgring, which is less preparation, but mentally tougher, physically also tougher. Endurance racing is not just about being the quickest driver, doing a great start and driving away. You're encountering a lot of difficulties and obstacles on the way, which require speed, but require experience and maturity and staying calm. But then it's a 24-hour race. Imagine what can happen in 24 hours.
But I need the small one, the short one.
Everyone is just seeing Le Mans as one race, one Saturday, Sunday. But 2 weeks before the race, you have the official test. It's the first time you will have all the drivers, all teams, all crews, all the competitors on track. I'm Pascal Zollinden. I'm director of factory motorsport at Porsche Motorsport. I lead projects from a white piece of paper until being on the podium at the race weekend. Going into Le Mans, we had 2 cars fighting for the drivers' championship, 91 and 92. Definitely 92 was the favorites. For 91, they have to win to still keep this chance of championship if 92 gets into troubles. So the pressure was more on 91 than 92. Now the only thing is, right side of the garage or left side.
We are a team and we work together.
It's a little bit touching, but...
But when the race starts, the other car is the first of the rivals. I'm Luca Massé, race engineer of car 91 in Le Mans and car number 1 on Nürburgring. The race engineer is the one to mix together the human parts that are the driver, that are the mechanic, with the technology and put all together.
Try again too. 110 now is too much.
From my point of view, I love endurance race because it's not just set up the car and a short race of 1 hour. I love the endurance race because I can do something during the race to change the result of the race.
I'm Matt Campbell, Porsche Young Professional Driver, driving for Dempsey Proton Racing in the 24-hour Le Mans and Fricadelli Racing in the 24-hour Nürburgring. As a young professional driver, you're sent to a lot of customer teams of Porsche. Maybe it's perceived as amateur racing, but it's extremely professional, and certainly the level of the teams is very, very high and just as good as some of the factory teams. I had quite an unconventional way through motorsport. I always wanted to race cars, but never thought it would ever go this far. When I was 14, I got a little Datsun 1200 coupe. My grandfather and auntie both raced similar cars. My mum really risked a lot to be able to give me an opportunity when I was young, and it was quite tough at home for a couple of years. But I got some driver coaching, stepped into Formula Ford. After that, Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge in Australia. That was the logical next step. By trade, I'm a builder, but I wanted to try and come to Europe and do something different. I was successful in Porsche Junior Shootout, becoming a Porsche Junior in 2017, getting some good results along the way. And this put me in good step for 2018, where I was able to move up to a Porsche Young Professional Driver.
The Dempsey Proton number 77, Matt Campbell, Christian Reed and Julien Andlar wins it.
Winning the Le Mans debut in the GT AM class, this was the most important stage of my career so far. Even though I've had some fantastic results this year, I don't have a contract for next year. This weighs on my shoulders, but I can only do the job I can do in the car. You know, obviously I've got to do a good job at Le Mans Nürburgring, but certainly nothing's safe. Who knows what's ahead of me? Yeah. All right. Well, I just got back to the pits now, so if you want to come down, we're in the same position as last year. All right. See ya. Bye. So far, every year I've been in Europe, my mum and my auntie have come at least once and seen me because I don't get a chance to really go back to Australia during the middle of the year. They were also there last year for my victory, and this was a huge moment with me in my career. So hopefully we do the same again this year.
Last meeting before the race, just to refresh our internal standards. Don't drive unnecessarily close to each other, but we drive flat out for sure because we want to win and do the best result.
To be honest, we had not a great qualifying. We were starting P7. It was not really where we wanted to start. There was a lot of joke in the pre-race meeting saying, oh, but whatever. We don't expect you to come worse than P3 or P2 after the first stint. And I'm like, okay, you guys have a lot of confidence.
We've got 61 drivers and teams that are willing to take part in this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's the 87th edition of this fabulous event. An epic year in GT Pro, where we've got 6 manufacturers.
During the race, be ready, front or rear. I will tell you which one to start and I will tell you the target. Okay, that's it. It's just a 24 hour. Good luck, man. That's it. Enjoy it. I'm sure I'll see you at some point. I hope not.
From the helicopter with the official starting flag.
The biggest race of the year is gonna start. It's a mix of a lot of different feelings. You feel the pressure is on you, but also you feel a lot of joy because you are part of this with Porsche, with the factory team fighting for the victory, fighting for championship.
Okay, far green flag. The formation lap. We are getting the 87th running of the world's greatest race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, underway.
Well, you can see the tension rising now in the garages.
AC position is good. As much temp in the tyres as you can get, Polly. I know you're working them, and any more you can get in there, please.
Magical moments. This is it. Let's go racing.
Okay, gentlemen, let's start closing the gaps. Exiting Porsches. I want to see 2 lines of cars, please, side by side. Let's keep this straight. Remember, you have to keep it steady until you cross the start line.
There goes the pace car, coming up on 3 o'clock, French summertime.
Princess Charlene of Monaco will wave the French tricolor.
The 24 Hours of Le Mans is underway.
The race has started.
It's a spectacle not to be missed.
'92 Porsche in car now with Kevin Estre. This is going to be an absolute dogfight in GT Pro.
I started the last 3 times, and this is mentally a very tough moment. What I really like about the start is you have all these cars together fighting for position, and everybody knows that the position is very important to start the race. The start of the race is a part where everybody is at his hottest, and You can do a mistake a lot easier. If you don't keep your head cool, you can ruin everything in the first lap.
This is an absolutely fantastic battle.
Kevin is the guy who will be always at the big moments when there is big fights. He will always get everything out of the car.
I like to do the start. I like to fight with the others, and I'm generally on the aggressive side. You have to be close sometimes to overtake, otherwise you never get there. And also, the faster you overtake people, better it will work. If you stay 2-3 laps behind them, they know your strengths and they know exactly what they have to do to keep you behind.
On the screen, the battle for second and third. Kevin Estre has not given up the ghost. He is now right on the tailpipe of the Aston Martin. Looking to the inside as they come to the second chicane. He's going to be on the outside now. But the team holds him off. Don't run out of road. And he does it.
Estre's done it.
I think he's got him now. He's got the inside position as they head down to Mulsanne.
That's not a nice feeling, I'm sure.
He's going to have second place.
Well, it's been a fantastic first 60 minutes of the 87th running of the great race, the Le Mans 24 Hours 2019.
Adrenaline is pretty high at that time because Kevin always starts. I take the second stint. I love it. I really like because you don't know where you get out in the race. You don't know what kind of traffic you get into. Your first action of the day is jumping right in the first corner. I like that. It's a lot about instincts, that first 2 laps. I got to feel it yourself, the grip level, just the feeling. How does the car fit the brake? Already 1 or 2 hours old, how do they feel? So it's a lot about instincts and about being open-minded quickly to get yourself in a comfortable situation.
Antonio Garcia, Michael Christensen, and Nick Tandy, the top 3 as they head down through the Tête Rouge S's.
We were starting in P13, so we have 12 cars to overtake. During the race, every hour we spend on the back, it can be an unlucky situation. So our goal was step by step, overtake all the car and reach the top 3 position.
3, 2, 1, green. Track is back to green. Track is back to green.
A cheeky wee brake test
wow.
there.
Wow. Oh, wow.
It's not easy, especially in Le Mans and especially in the first stint when all the cars have new tires and are competitive, but we were doing our job in the proper way.
This is 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
I think we were probably P5, P6. Suddenly, Richard tell by radio that he heard a noise and something was broken on the car.
It felt like something fall off on the right side of the car. Big vibration, big vibration. I don't know. Like we lost something when something overtook me on the straight.
Big vibration right-hand side of the car,
Yeah,
I think
that's
he said.
Richard Leitz in the number 91 car, who's now dropped down to 9th.
And we start back again.
A vibration like that, it's very difficult to drive, isn't it?
Yeah, the speeds are so high here, so the faster you go, the worse it gets.
Oh,
big lock up there.
So immediately you are thinking about a mechanical problem on the steering.
So do one more lap and we will investigate more into the data.
Into was really important to push Richard to stay on track, because if he will beat in this moment, we don't know what to do, and it's easy to spend 1 minute to search for some problem. So he stay out, and we check again all the parameter.
The problem is the front left. Loic said that he finds something. He has something left on that side shoulder. Inside, yeah. Just from inside.
We understand that the problem was the front left and the brakes.
Another set we have, one of free practices.
From the qualifier.
From the qualifier. We beat this lap, and then we do driver change, and we change also the front brakes.
We call him into the pit, and we change the system without losing time during the pit stop. This, I think, is the key point of the race of this year. Every time something happens in the race, you have 1 minute when you say, fuck, we had to find a solution to be back in the game.
In endurance races like Le Mans, there's no rule on when are you doing more of a sprint race or more taking it easy and take care of the material and strategy. You have to be patient and know when you can be aggressive and when you just have to hold back. There are some times where you have to hold back a little bit. Communication with your engineer is very important, because they can tell you, okay, this stint, you have to push the car until lap 10. So until lap 10 you can push, then you have to take care. That's where also the team spirit is very important to have a good result.
Okay, so the Ford is on old tyres and the Ferrari is on new. Copy.
Ford on old tyres, Ferrari on new. That's what he needed to know.
There he
goes
goes.
to the inside of the Ford immediately.
That's the difference in a new tyre.
So that is a fantastic example of just what you do with the information you receive.
Patrick Dempsey has always a priority is to develop young guns. And this is one of our quickest young gun, and so the decision was easy. Matt had to go there.
The 77 Dempsey Proton car leads that field.
My goal when I started this journey was to be able to get to a factory driver level. At the moment I'm on that path and I'm very close to this level, whether that be on speed or competence out of the car or any of these top areas. Porsche are trying to groom you into this role as a Porsche works driver because these are the best GT drivers in the world and excel in all areas, but nothing's set in stone. This takes a toll on you, especially in endurance racing. Doing multiple stints in a race and the focus has to be extremely high because if you make one mistake, it could be all for nothing, and certainly with time, money and investment into this and being so much focus on the life, if you're the driver who makes a mistake, you're going to feel a lot of pressure for sure.
Our strategy was consistently changing with our driver lineups and what we were trying to do, to try and minimise lost time. So maybe at one stage you're going to have 4 hours rest, and in the end maybe you're only having a 1 stint break. But this is part of it, and it's the same for everyone really. This is endurance racing, so sometimes you just sleep wherever you can, whether that be under a desk or at the engineer's desk or just out the back somewhere, just to try and get as much sleep as possible.
It's an epic traffic jam. If the traffic jam was like this on the way to work in the morning, you wouldn't complain much, would you?
Basically, always want to believe I don't crash cars. I can control them. If I go too far, I'll catch it. But at one point, it will come, and you'll end up in the wall.
You'll see him get squeezed there by the 88.
was a big hit for Marcel.
Fuck, Porsche crashed into me. Yeah, copy that. We just saw it. Are you okay? Oh, it was a hard one. Fuck. Oh, fuck.
There's always this moment of, you know, could Marcel been more patient? No, why should he? You know, he's got a race to win. And you go, if there's a gap, you go for it, because that's what racing drivers do.
We sit here and we revel in this great nose-to-tail racing for 24 hours, but sometimes this is a byproduct of that.
The quickest way to race a car is to be constantly on the limit. If you feel comfortable, you're probably not going quick enough.
It's 7 o'clock here in France.
This battle on screen now is phenomenal.
Laurens Vanthoor, the young Porsche superstar in the 92 car, and Vanthoor has been on a climb this stint. He's had an absolutely fantastic
Rising
stint.
up the order now, closing in on Daniel Serra's 51 Ferrari.
We kind of saw that us and the Ferrari were probably the two strongest cars. We're always the two cars in first or second position and swapping around. So then you quickly understand, okay, they're strong, we're strong as well, we feel confident, but they're the guys to beat. So you obviously start to look at them a little bit closer and try to understand from where can we make a difference. Where are they stronger, where are they weaker?
Where is the move going to come? Because it surely is going to come.
You need to be smart. It's like boxing. You need to look at your opponent and see what's the weakest link. How can I use that to make a difference?
Okay, Lawrence, now we should just fuel save. We've got the leader in sight. Earl is doing some fuel saving. All of us are likely to do a double now, so just go with this pace, relax, and just follow this rain for a bit. Let's just build a bit of margin for our fuel. Perfect.
You have two options. When you're behind somebody, you can go full risk for 10 laps, trying to overtake, destroy your tires.
Box, fuel only.
Or you can save fuel and preserve your tires and wait for the pit stop.
35 seconds of fuel, code green. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Fast lane clear. And the Ferrari the same as us.
Yes!
Good job.
There'll be some fist pumping there at the Porsche GT team.
Okay, buddy, we are leading the race.
You try to find the smartest way to go ahead, and yeah, that's all part of endurance racing in the end.
10 p.m. local time, 7 hours.
Kevin hat jetzt einen mega Doppelstint rausgehauen. Das war geil.
16 hours of the race remaining. We're looking to the front of the GTE Pro field, where Porsche is being chased by